For a long time, people thought they understood the story. They thought they knew who Meghan Markle was with before Prince Harry. They thought they knew how she entered elite circles, and they thought they knew who mattered in her life once she married into the royal family. But there was always one man standing just off to the side, sometimes smiling, sometimes holding her hand, sometimes appearing in places just a friend should consistently be. And for years, most people either ignored him or misunderstood who he was, because the truth is, while the world focused on Meghan and Harry, another connection quietly stayed intact the entire time, before the palace, during the marriage, and long after the royal exit. His name is Markus Anderson, and once you understand who he is, the story everyone thought they knew starts to look very different. For years, there were photos circulating online that people assumed showed Meghan with a boyfriend or even a husband. Some believed the man beside her was Jack Brooks, others thought he was just a social acquaintance who happened to be nearby. But when those photos resurfaced, again in January 2026, the conversation changed, because people finally realized the mystery man wasn't random at all. It was Markus Anderson, again and again and again. At Soho House events, at fashion shows, at private gatherings, at family trips, at Disneyland, with Meghan's children, and most recently, walking through Paris during Fashion Week, holding hands in a way that didn't look casual to anyone watching. That's when people started asking the question no one wanted to ask before. Why is Markus Anderson always there? To understand why this matters, you have to understand what Soho House really is. Soho House isn't just a trendy members club, it's one of the most exclusive private networks in the world. Locations in London, New York, Los Angeles, Toronto, Paris, and every city where influence matters. You don't just pay to get in. You need sponsorship. You need approval. You need someone on the inside to vouch for you. And for years, the man who controlled that access was Markus Anderson. He wasn't just an employee. He was the global membership director, the gatekeeper, the person who decided which actors, models, executives, and wealthy individuals were allowed into rooms where connections were made away from cameras. Markus Anderson started as a waiter. He worked his way up until he became the right-hand man to Soho House founder Nick Jonas. That matters, because Nick Jonas publicly admitted that Soho House avoids members who attract too much media attention. Actual global superstars were reportedly denied membership because they brought press. And yet Meghan Markle, at the time a cable TV actress on Suits, was suddenly everywhere. To Toronto, London, Los Angeles, Europe, always at Soho House, always with Markus. Before Soho House, Meghan's career was steady but limited. She wasn't broke, but she wasn't powerful. She wasn't famous enough to access elite circles on her own. She had ambition. But ambition without access doesn't open doors. That's where Markus Anderson comes in. Observers have long speculated that Meghan didn't randomly stumble into elite spaces. They believe she strategically befriended the one person who could introduce her to people who mattered. And once she entered Markus's circle, her world expanded fast. She began traveling internationally, attending exclusive parties, meeting people with wealth, influence, and global reach. This wasn't luck. It was proximity to power. And the photos tell that story better than any interview ever could. In December 2014, Meghan and Markus are photographed together at an event. She's holding a large glass of wine. Her arm is wrapped around his back. His face is close to hers. The body language looks intimate enough to make people uncomfortable. In June 2016, just 1 month before she meets Prince Harry, they're photographed together again, at a Toronto gala. Markus has his arm firmly around her waist. She's leaning into him. This is not a fleeting moment, it's closeness. Then comes September 2017, at the Invictus Games. Meghan is seated beside Markus. Their knees are touching. She's smiling at him. Harry is there too, but the photo shows him staring into the distance, looking disconnected. Years later, at her New York baby shower, Markus is front and center. In October 2025, photos emerge of Meghan and Markus walking through Paris during Fashion Week, holding hands like a couple, not linked arms. Actual hand-holding. Social media explodes. Where is Harry? Then, in June 2025, Meghan posts family photos from Disneyland for her child's birthday. Markus is there, and his face is covered with a heart emoji. That detail alone raised eyebrows. If he's just a friend, why hide him? And here's something most people missed for years. Meghan has never been photographed. alone inside Soho House. Not once. She is always with Markus Anderson, or another member, or Harry. That matters because Soho House rules require guests to stay with their sponsoring member at all times, which means Meghan wasn't a member. She was a guest, Markus Anderson's guest. Every single time. That changes the dynamic entirely. Now let's talk about how Meghan and Harry actually met. The official story is vague. A blind date, a friend, a coincidence, but royal biographers and insiders have documented a different version. Reports claim Prince Harry asked Markus Anderson to help arrange a discreet meeting with Meghan. The meeting took place in a private room at Soho House, London, in July 2016. Not a public restaurant, not a random event, a controlled, private environment. 7 or 8 people total. No pressure, no cameras. Markus already knew Meghan well. He arranged the logistics. He facilitated the introduction. He provided the space. And after that, Markus didn't disappear. He coordinated early dates at Babington House, Nick Jones's countryside estate, a place known for discretion and exclusivity. Sources describe Babington House as having an edgy atmosphere, a place where networking happens beyond business cards. That's not normal friend behavior, that's facilitation. And when Meghan married into the royal family, Markus Anderson remained present. Wedding guest, baby shower guest, travel companion. And years after Harry and Meghan left royal life, Markus is still there, still showing up. Still appearing in photos. Some commentators have described him as the second most important man in Meghan's life. That phrasing alone stunned people, second only to Harry, before her own family. When observers point this out, defenders often say Markus is just a close friend who values privacy. But that explanation raises more questions than it answers. Why was he excluded from the Netflix documentary? Why was his face hidden in family photos? Why does secrecy surround someone who is allegedly harmless? Because secrecy doesn't calm curiosity, it fuels it. Nick Jones stepped down as Soho House CEO in 2022 due to health issues, but he remained involved behind the scenes. He knows what happened in his clubs. He knows who attended which parties. He knows what arrangements Markus Anderson made, and yet he's remained publicly silent. That silence protects his brand. Soho House sells discretion. If its founder began revealing what happened behind closed doors, the entire business model would collapse. So he stays quiet. Markus stays quiet, and Meghan controls the narrative as tightly as possible. But photos don't lie, timelines don't disappear, and patterns don't vanish just because they're inconvenient. When people connect the dots, they see a trajectory that's hard to ignore. Actress with limited access. Friendship with the gatekeeper. Global elite. Networking. Introduction to a prince. Marriage. Into royalty. Exit from royal life. Retention of fame. Retention of Markus Anderson. That doesn't mean wrongdoing. It means strategy. It means understanding how power actually works, and it raises one uncomfortable question. What did Markus Anderson get in return? People who operate at that level don't invest years of effort without reason. They don't open doors endlessly without benefit. They don't stay embedded in someone's life unless there's value. Some speculate he holds information. Others believe he's simply indispensable because he knows too much about Meghan's pre-royal years. He was there during the Toronto period, the Soho House parties. The networking, positioning, letting him drift away would mean losing control over that narrative, so he stays close. And Harry, many observers believe Harry is trapped by the very foundation of his relationship. Markus introduced them. Markus facilitated the early days. Questioning Markus means questioning how everything began, and Harry already sacrificed his family, his role, and his country. If doubts exist now, what does that mean for everything he gave up? That's why the story won't go away, because it isn't about gossip. It's about access, it's about ambition, and it's about how power operates quietly, through people who never seek the spotlight. Nick Jones knows the truth. Markus Anderson knows the truth. Meghan Markle knows the truth, and none of them are talking. Because talking would reveal that the fairy tale wasn't magic at all. It was networking. And the photos keep resurfacing, because they tell that story without saying a word. Markus Anderson was there in 2014. He was there in 2016. He was there in 2017. He was there in 2019. He was there in 2025. A decade of access, A decade of proximity. A decade of doors opening that's not coincidence, and it's not going away, because no matter how carefully the narrative is managed, the one thing that can't be erased is the record of who was always standing right beside her. And he still is.